Howdy, and welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at my recently purchased pre-Model 10 Smith & Wesson Military and Police in 38 Special. I did a little research on this gun before I picked it up. I love having a smartphone these days in a gun shop. It's a 1955 or 56 M&P. At first appearance in the gun shop, it was in pretty decent shape. The nickel did look a little thin in some spots, but I mean, it looked perfectly acceptable as a shooter. And let's see, it's clear here. Perfectly acceptable as a shooter. It did come with the original tiny wood grips. I have pretty big hands, so I put this Pachmeyer grip on here. Really good looking gun. Mechanically, pretty good shape. Trigger is, well, it's stock for sure. A little heavy in single action even, but overall fairly nice. Problem I had though, I took it to the gun range this past weekend, and bear with me while I put this down. This is what happened. I only shot a cylinder of ammunition out of it. See if it'll focus here, but if you can see that, if this camera will focus at all, yeah, you pick it up right there, you can just see the flaking of the nickel. I'm not particularly happy about that. The gun shop I bought it at, it was a consignment gun. According to the guy who sold it on consignment, it was his grandmother's gun, and it sat in a nightstand for the better part of 45 years. Don't know how they cleaned it. If they used a copper solvent, as far as I know, that can cause this. The gun was shot occasionally, just very rarely. Doesn't affect the function of the gun, but I wasn't sure at the time when I was at the gun range what else was wrong with it, so I just stopped shooting and I shot my Model 19 Smith instead, and M&P 9 and ARs. It's a nice looking gun. I don't know what I'm going to do about that flaking finish. Really not showing up in the video, but pretty much the face of the cylinder is flaking off. It's not flaking off in any other spot. Nowhere else. Just the face of the cylinder. And it's peeled off pretty good. Just only there, not even in any other portion of this gun. You can see the copper kind of shining through. My knowledge of the process for nickel plating is that the nickel is laid over a copper base, so a high copper solvent or high concentration of copper solvent in a cleaning material will eat the copper underneath and cause the nickel to flake off. Well, that's it. Hopefully I'll get something figured out with this and go from there. Alright, thanks a lot.